Yo, gang, what's going on? I'm the Blue Ranger, and welcome back to another episode where we're just going to talk about something that's going on right now, and that is the inevitable conversation of Pokemon Go. Now, I finally had a chance to get into this game, and honestly, it's a ton of fun. If you're not playing it yet, you should give it a shot. Even if you're a skeptic and you're sitting there going, who the hell likes this game? This game is stupid. Why would I enjoy this game? You might be surprised. The people that I've met, even just tonight, playing this game, are just the most unlikely people that you would expect to play this game. Myself and a friend decided to go into the city tonight, just kind of farting around, having some fun with this game, and we ended up wandering to a bar that had a Pokestop at it. I decided to put in the extra 100, whatever, silver, gold, whatever the fuck it's called, to get one of those lures. We sat down with a couple of beers. Turns out half the people at the bar were sitting there and who said, who put the lure up? And I was like, oh, I did. They're like, oh, thanks, man. And it was a party. Like, people wanted to play this game, and they were super excited that other people were there to play the game. Once you initiate these kinds of interactions, you have to be excited about it because other people want to talk to you about the game. As far as video games go, this is basically a social experiment. They pretty much said to us, let's see how many people you can meet because you're going to meet everyone. On our way back from the bar, because we just stopped at every Pokestop on the way, because if you live in a city, you are reaping the benefit. We'll talk about the other half of that in a second. As we're walking by, we're walking past coffee houses with people sitting outside. We see them playing the game, and we're just like, hey, catch anything fun tonight? And they're letting us know, or oh, nothing. And one of my buddies was sitting out front, and he goes, oh, did you guys put out the lure? Oh yeah, that was us. And, oh, thanks, man. It was just really fun interactive conversation that we had regarding the game. Now, as for the other side of that I was talking about, now I happen to work my full-time job in the sticks, out in the country where there's almost nothing. The small town that I work in actually has 3 gyms and about a half a dozen Pokestops? I'm not sure. The fact of the matter is there's enough to do in the town, but sitting in the middle of the city, kind of near a Pokestop, you can drop a lure on it or just sort of hang out, and eventually things pop up. In the country, out in more rural areas, you're gonna have no such luck. You're gonna hate the game. You're gonna be really upset that you invested some time into something because you're not gonna have the same experience that other people are having. The game is really built on social interaction, whether we want to admit it or not. As gamers, we tend to stay away from those kinds of interactions. I've met a ton of awesome people playing games online, and that's super cool. Some really good friendships, even some people here in my own city, and that's awesome. But tonight alone, I actually got to give high fives, shake hands, and say hello to people that I've never met before over this game, and I've never had an experience like that in my life. So that's saying something. Now, where I work out in the country, I've been out there every single day since the game came out, and I've never met a single person playing the game. I've barely caught any Pokemon out there. I've barely had any success with their Pokestops. For some reason, they never really want to work. The connection's kind of shoddy. I constantly lose service. When I catch something that I'm looking forward to, the game freezes. It's kind of a nightmare. So the game is clearly built around hubs of society, which are also known as cities. And that can hurt the player experience if you are not in that kind of an area. Even my friend coming in from the suburbs into the city where I live, he said the fact that we could walk a half mile down the road and catch all the Pokemon that we did, stop at all the Pokestops that we did, is amazing. And I'm just sitting here going, oh, that's just what we do here. I mean, I haven't played a whole bunch until tonight. I got to level 5, picked Team Mystic, deal with it. I'm the Blue Ranger. It's gonna be Team Blue. I picked Team Mystic. I tried to battle a gym, failed miserably, but I haven't really gotten out to play the game a whole lot. But tonight's stream didn't go the way I wanted it to, and so I ended up having some free time on my hands. That being said, I was able to go out and catch some Pokemon. It was exciting. We got some stuff that I had never seen. We were sitting at a bar with no water in sight. I caught a Staryu and a Magikarp. That was fucking cool. Like, we got an Execute. That popped up. We had a random Parasect. It was a Parasect that showed up, and it had question marks next to its CP. It ended up being like 361 CP, and we were both, what, level 6, I think? It was the most mind-boggling Pokemon to have popped up. So, I mean, we've had a really good experience playing this game just tonight. Do it with friends. Go somewhere with friends. Get involved, because sometimes walking around a city, a town center, whatever it is, by yourself can be a little bit nerve-wracking. Oh, there's everybody watching you play Pokemon. But the fact of the matter is they're probably playing too. They just don't want to admit to it. Bring a friend with you. Be open about what you're doing. You're going to run into people that you like. You're going to find a whole bunch of Pokemon. You're going to have a lot of fun. It's a really good time. As for the microtransactions, they don't bother me because none of them are necessary. Have I spent a little money on the game? Yes. My buddy recently had a bachelor party, and I bought some incense and Pokeballs and everything because we were going to be up in the woods. I figured I'd catch a bunch of random shit that I hadn't seen before. Turns out we had no cell reception, so it was a total waste of money. But tonight, just walking around the city, which is something I hadn't done before, I picked up almost as much stuff from the different Pokestops as I did buying from the microtransactions. So the microtransactions aren't really shoved down your throat unless you live in those rural areas where you're going to end up spending some money because eventually you're going to run out of Pokeballs because you don't have the Pokestop ability or frequency or availability as the people who live in cities and even suburban areas, but even suburban areas are much more spread out. Now, all of that being said, it's a really exciting game. The fact that it's free makes it all the better. Everyone has a cell phone. If your smartphone can run this game, you should try it out. And if you're one of those people sitting out there that's all like, hey, yo, fuck that game. Here's that game that everybody enjoys and I don't like happiness. That's fine. You don't have to enjoy that. But if you're hating on something because you don't understand it, that's ignorance. So give it a shot, because you might find that you really enjoy it. I've met people that I never in a million years would have expected to like Pokemon, finding themselves really enjoying this game, because as much as it's a Pokemon game, it's not. A lot of it is based in point and click. A lot of it is based in adventure, exploration, just different things. The fact that this game has given a boost to local economies, introduced people to other people they would have never met otherwise, and all sorts of other awesome things, goes to show that the game actually has something great to offer, and I think it's totally worth looking into. I had a fantastic experience. That's not to say that everyone's gonna have a fantastic experience, but I hope you do, and unless you try it, you're not gonna know. So definitely get out there, try this game, it's free, don't spend $1 on it, see how it goes. If you hate it, delete it, never think about it again. And for everybody sitting there going, well, there's kids getting hit by cars and there's people being stabbed while walking into bad areas, this game is more downloaded than Twitter. Now, if you're gonna sit there and tell me that in the last 10 years that Twitter's been around, nobody's ever crashed their car and wrapped it around a telephone pole because of Twitter, or no kid has ever walked in front of a car because he was looking at his Twitter account, then you're crazy. It's not the game itself that's getting people killed and stabbed and whatnot, it's the people's decision. It is very difficult to drive down the road anywhere and not see someone playing this game, and I totally understand that. It's a serious problem, but it needs to be addressed on a personal basis. We can't sit around and be like, this game is terrible because these things are happening. That is the case with everything. The fact of the matter is that picking apart these little instances of things happening, it's counterintuitive. You're actually just finding something to complain about. Now, those videos of people running out into the street because a Vaporeon showed up in New York City, that's asinine. It's a video game, okay? It's ridiculous that people are doing that. I want this thing. Well, guess what? I've run around this city, the rural areas that I work in and the suburbs in between, and I've seen people at every gym have all three of the EV evolutions that you can get right now. It's not that rare. When you see something, if you're driving a car and you have it open and you're like, oh my god, it's an Alakazam, let it go. Let it go. It's a video game. It's not that important. You have to understand that people are going to enjoy this game and there's nothing wrong with that, and that you shouldn't enjoy the game so much that it puts your life or the lives of others in danger or at risk of injury. You have to be respectful of the craft, of the game, what it has to offer, because it's a fantastic piece of media that we should all be enjoying. So make sure you get out there and try it out. This is a fantastic game. I give it the Blue Ranger stamp of approval. Not that that fucking means anything, but I give it that anyway. This is fun. Go try it out. And guys, I will see you in the next one. Peace!